A prestigious Italian brand which hand makes their bikes in Italy, Sato or Sato Antonio, as you may have known them in the old days. One of their bikes has been found to have poor specifications in the bottom bracket, and you can guess who's found it. Yes, it's our resident UK 5-year-old Hambini. Now, Sato is a brand that's been around for a long time. They were established by Sato Antonio in 1959, so they have a long history of expertise in building bicycles. And what they've done over the years is what they're famous for is making bikes for other brands. And a lot of these pro riders who are riding bikes in these tours were actually made by Sato Antonio but rebadged other brands. And a couple of those brands that used to use Sato Antonio to make their top end bikes was Bottecchia and Fondarest. So the high level ones like the Bottecchia ME series and the Fondarest TFO series were made by Sato Antonio in Italy, and you could have them custom made for yourself because the construction that Sato uses is a tube and lug design like the Colnago C60. Now, Sato's factory is in Veneto, which is very close to Venice in northern Italy, and they employ about 15 people there, and the bikes are completely made in Italy. So when it says made in Italia, it is fully made in Italia, not like some of these other brands that only paint them or partially assemble them in Italy. So Sato is a truly Italian brand, and they actually have had a reputation in the past as being a premium and quality product. Now, as I'm aware, the owner of this specific Sato bike in question was owned by a doctor, and he actually bought a Hambini bottom bracket from Hambini, and it was supposed to be inserted in the bike shop, but they couldn't get it in, so they just took it out and they just run the FSA bottom bracket with a Shimano crankset in it. And after running it just a short period, it started to have a creaking bottom bracket, and it was found that the bearings were being prematurely worn out and failed. Now, so what happens is I don't know if it was the bike shop or the doctor or both of them decided to send the whole bike to Hambini. So he had it in his workshop, and he's made a video on the findings that he found with that bottom bracket, but specifically it was undersized, and also it was not square on the side. So go and watch his video. I'll have a link of it up here, so go and check out that video so you can see the poor quality control that Hambini points out on this frame. Now, Sato bikes are very close to my heart, and the reason why is I actually owned a bike that was made by Sato Antonio. It was actually a Bottecchia ME2, but it was made under license by Sato Antonio. And that bike gave me really good service, and I rode it in all conditions. I didn't actually really treat it that well. But unfortunately, one time when it had it locked up, when I went to the doctors, someone tried to steal it and they couldn't actually get the lock off it, so they smashed the seat stays. And unfortunately, that made it unrepairable. Now, you might ask, well, where's this bike now? Well, what I did is, because this is quite a rare frame, I packed it up and I've sent it off to Rail from Leisure Technique. And at some point, he's going to cut it up and do a video on it, so we can see how it's made inside. But the unfortunate part is that Rail, because of the bike industry so busy at the moment, he just hasn't had time to get any of these cut up videos out. So hopefully he can get round to it soon. If Rail, if you're watching, I hope you can have a look at that bike, because obviously Hambini's highlighted some poor quality control, and maybe we can find out a bit more about these frames. Although my frame would probably be about 10 years old. So in conclusion, our good old 5-year-old Hambini picks up another top-end bike manufacturer who can't make a round hole. But on a more serious note, it is a bit concerning that we have bikes coming out of the east, and we even have bikes coming out of the west, and we're paying huge amounts of money for these bikes. These are supposed to be the best of the best, and we're getting such poor quality that we can't even ride a bike for 2 weeks without it creaking and the bearings being fagged out. So it's something that I think the industry really needs to reflect on itself and really needs to, step up the game, because, they're charging more than they've ever charged for the bikes. Now, I know there's a shortage, but that doesn't mean they should just be putting everything out the door. They should still be keeping their quality control to what is required for those bearings and cups to be fitted into that carbon frame so they work as advertised. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it. And thanks to Hambini for doing that video. It's really appreciated. And leave your comments down below what you think, or, were you like me? I thought Sato was a pretty good brand, but obviously that's not the case. But leave your comments down below what you think about this, and especially coming from a very prestigious boutique brand that's actually handmade in Italy. Catch you next vid, guys. Cheers.